Hi guys, this is Tracy with Inside Pool Magazine. They call me the diva. While Nick is on location at Super Billiards Expo, I'm manning the station here back home, obviously. Tonight's episode is a young gun out of the Midwest. The Midwest again? What's going on over there? You know, the Brat Pack is from the Midwest. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. I guess we'll find out. This 13-year-old has been the top of the group feed so far, and there's a bar out of Missouri named Kenny's Bar and Grill. I've been there once before, and Kenny's is a fabulous place to be. So let's get to know our next guest, shall we? Coming up next is Cooper Lammert. I'm going to run his promo feed. Enjoy, guys. Hi guys, this is Tracy, obviously from Inside Pool Magazine. I'm right back with you, and I have my guest tonight. This is Cooper Lammert. Hi, Cooper. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Got a little bit of an allergy, so you guys, I have to excuse the facial features. Hello, Serena. How are you this evening?
I'm good.
Oh my gosh. Cooper, I hear a lot of noise coming from the news feeds here lately on Facebook. What's going on out of the Midwest? I hear you're one heck of a player at 13 years old.
Well, yeah, I've been playing since I was 5. So, and my dad's the one that brought me into the game. My mom's the one that's been pretty tough on me about the game as well. My dad as well. So
it's a family thing. It's like, If you're going to do this, son, you need to do it right.
Yep.
So, do you play any leagues out of Kenny's? It's normally Kenny's that you play out of right now, or do you play at other venues?
It's mainly Kenny's. That's really.
Kenny's has a bigger junior league out of there. Is that correct, or am I wrong in that assumption?
Yes,
there's a lot of kids going on out of there. Do you have any friends currently on a league with you guys?
No, I have a friend that plays pool, but I don't play league with him. His name's Timothy Cossey.
Oh, well, a little birdie told me about Timmy, and he's going to be on next week in a couple of weeks. So nice plug. I have a couple of questions to ask you. Let me pull up that stuff. Where's your hometown?
It's Beeville, Texas.
So out of Texas, what brought you to the Midwest, if I may ask?
We came here for more family stuff, more fun stuff, opportunities. Yeah.
Texas is a big state. I'm not familiar where that particular area is. So you're 13 years old. Are you currently enrolled in school, or are we doing the private school?
I'm currently enrolled in school. Yes, ma'am.
And would you like to plug that school?
Windsor Middle School.
Shout out to Windsor. You're doing something good with these kids. I need a little more pool players coming out of that school. We need to put you guys like a billiard academy in that little area so you guys can get some actual points for that, right? I mean, wouldn't we like
That'd be a good idea.
You might be able to start teaching those kids something. You can be a tutor and get points for that. I think they call those teachers aides. Am I right, Serena?
I think so.
So I hear your Fargo ranking is in the 300s. Am I correct on that as well?
Yes, ma'am. You're correct.
And you said you've been playing since you were 5?
5.
Boy, that's an accomplishment. What got you started?
I think it was when I was 9. I went in my first pool tournament, right? 9.
He started at like age 5, like just throwing balls on the table, and then his first big tournament was out of Houston when he was 8.
Oh, 8.
Wow. How did you place in Houston?
I did.
Do you even remember? I mean, that feels like it was a long time ago.
I don't think I did too bad.
It was his first time, so like a lot of the adults were like helping him throughout like the whole thing. So
right.
I don't
Well,
even know.
that's something I would expect. I would hope anyway, in any community that they support the kids, and help them, encourage them a little bit. So,
Yeah.
did you know right offhand, Serena, that he had something? It was something a little different. This wasn't just a normal kid hitting balls around.
Oh God, no. Like he just you know how some people like have to like practice, and for him it was just like real easy to do. Like he just had the eye for it. So
Just got in there and just went for it. Oh, that's fantastic. A lot of kids, I've heard that about a lot of kids.
Yeah.
It's like they just get up there and it just comes natural, like a natural bridge. If you guys saw that video with Shane Van Boning when he was a youngster, they showed pictures where he had this little mini table. His bridge was, insane for a 2 or 3-year-old, so they get started young. It's amazing thing how it just connects. And Cooper, do you feel natural on the table? Does it feel like an extension of who you are?
Sort of, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So, what has been your biggest motivator or your best support system? Like, do you have one particular parent that's more into what you're doing than the other, or like a cousin that's like, you can do this? Because sometimes we can't talk to mom and dad.
My dad, probably, because he's the one that brought me into the pool world.
Well, that's great that you have that connection with dad, because there's a lot of people that don't. They're like, oh, I like my parents, but I don't like to talk to them about pool. I didn't. My mom didn't understand. She's like, why are you doing this? You're a girl. And I was like, I don't know, because the boys are doing it. I was the only girl. It was all boys. I was the only girl. So I was a little rough around the edges to get to this. It took years. Let's see. Do you, after high school, do you intend on furthering your education? And if so, what major would you like to go into?
Yes, ma'am. I do intend on furthering my education. I think I might want to go for law, or maybe like a police officer or something like that. Maybe.
We need more law people. We actually do, because you never know when I'm going to get in trouble for something. And it's usually a copyright violation, so I'll need a lawyer on my hands. Oh, that's very ambitious, and I hope you get there.
Thank you.
There are a lot of these junior events that offer scholarships to kids, and so that would be a great investment. If you decide to stick with pool, then maybe some of these tournaments, we can start getting more of these tournaments, and that's a lot of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, so that people out there know that there are a lot of kids and you guys have ambitions. And you might not want to be a world champion like a Shane Van Boning. You may want to go to college and do something else and give back to the pool community. So I commend you, Mom. You guys are raising a very strong young man. Commend you.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Have you? Go ahead, Mom.
Yeah, he's pretty. When he's focused on something, he's
a go-getter.
Yeah, he gets it done.
Do you and your husband, are you having any difficulties with him keeping up with his school? And how are his grades?
Well, when he's doing something like a sport or anything, his grades are great. Like, so we always constantly have to keep him in something, so that way his grades are, content. But for the most part, he's doing pretty good.
Fantastic. That's good to hear, Cooper. What other hobbies do you do besides, obviously, pool?
I like to do football, basketball. Actually, this part's actually kind of weird. I like to help my mom clean up around the house.
Well, I mean, that's not a bad thing. I have a child that does that. He cleans better than I do. So then the time he's actually vacuuming. You can hear him in the background vacuuming. Apparently, I spilled something. I have no idea. So, what has been your biggest accomplishment pool wise? Have you won something that you felt like, wow, I did this, I got this?
There has been a couple of times. Yeah, actually. So Kenny Vaughn, I beat a stick off of him.
Did you really? Would you
Yeah.
describe that for us? That last
It was a Mucci. I can't remember what shaft was on it. I don't even know. It was I know it was a Mucci, but
were you playing like a game or was it a raffle?
it was a game.
Okay, can you describe how badly Kenny cried after you beat him? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you remember that last rack and how it felt when that last ball dropped?
Actually, yes. I was actually pretty happy because I remember I was shooting with one of my sticks, I think I lost one of my sticks, and I went to Walmart with my mom, and we saw like a pool stick. It was like an all, I think it was $20. I played with that for about 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? Yeah, 8 months, and then I beat him with that stick.
You beat him with a Walmart
stick.
A Walmart cue, yeah.
Well, you earned that Moochie, didn't you, son?
Yes.
Good going. Absolutely fabulous.
And
That's how I got my Moochie.
and I've also beat a couple people. I've also won a couple tournaments, handicap tournaments against older people, adults.
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I had a little girl on a few days ago, and they literally were very mean to her. And she's 10. I was like, okay, you're grown people. Why are you upset about a child? Have you faced any of those circumstances playing pool yourself where adults just didn't want you there?
I think no, actually, I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't think so. Not that I can remember.
Not that you can remember. Well, yeah. I mean, if they were upset, they probably didn't say anything. Which, I mean, I'd rather them not say anything than, say something to a child. But normally this happens in places where people don't know you. Mm-hmm. And there's not a major kid presence in that area. They think, well, it's just a pushover. It's a kid. It'll be fine. And then, boom, this kid can play. It's like, and then moms are like, look, I knew he could play. I brought him in to play, but he's no pool hustler. We're new to this. And that's what's going on a lot in the pool world itself with new parents. How are you handling taking him to tournaments where you do have that, where you're new? You don't know exactly how to go about getting these kids in these tournaments. Have you had an ease getting into that market?
Yeah, I mean, the first, like I said, his first tournament was in Houston, and they, for the most part, they're okay with it. I mean, they don't really say very much about anything. So it's I don't really have a hard time dealing with people.
That's good. Hopefully doing what I'm doing will connect some of you moms, and you can give these newbies a little direction, because some of the moms are a little taken back, and you're a mother and I'm a mother and very overprotective about our children. It's like, you can mess with me, but don't talk to my child that way.
Right.
So maybe we as a community can get together with some of these videos, and these kids get to know each other. We can form a bigger community, and we can learn to help each other with the knowledge that we're gaining. And I commend you guys. You're getting exposure, I hope. A couple of more questions for you. What has been your biggest lesson so far in the billiard community?
Probably for me, never to rush through things, like slow down. That's really the biggest lesson, because I'm usually like going 1,000,000 miles per hour. So pool, just like whenever you take your shot, whenever you like get down your shot, you don't just take 1 or 2 strokes and then just swing at it. You visualize the shot, chalk your cue, take a couple, at least for me, 4 or 5 backswings, and then swing at the ball. So never rush through
things. You had a good teacher. You had a very good teacher. So Dad helps you out a lot, huh?
Yep.
Dad helps you out a lot. Out of curiosity, what's Dad's Fargo rating?
I think it's like a 5'7".
It should be a lot higher.
Yeah, he plays a lot better than I think he's a 5'76", 5'86", but he plays a lot better than that.
So you're getting some great coaching then. Do you guys play double tournaments together when you can?
One time we were planning on to, but then we never went because we had family stuff going on.
Right. Well, hopefully one of these days all of us can get in one community and the kids and the parents can play all together and we'll see who wins. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
How have you handled the pressures associated with pool, like the physical pressures? You have sleepless nights sometimes where you guys are up until like 2 or 3 in the morning playing in a tournament, especially these grinds over in Vegas. Does it affect him at all mentally? Do you feel like he can focus on the table when he's out late like that to enter into a tournament? Because a lot of times these tournaments end at 2 and then they start back up at like 10. So that's kind of rough on a kid. Have you noticed any issues with?
I did when he did his juniors tournament. I think it was in Peoria, Illinois. Mm-hmm. And I could, they run pretty late, and I could see that he was getting frustrated with himself and tired.
Right.
So, I pretty much just told him it's like that's a marathon. Pretty much, that's just how it is. So. But he definitely, I definitely saw a change whenever it was getting later, because like in the handicap tournaments, like it doesn't last as late,
right?
But whenever he did like the ones with the kids, like it was a lot later than normal. So
training for championships. That's those long grinds. It's teaching them how to get through things like the Moscone Cup. That's mentally tough. So it's a training session. How did you feel? I mean, I know Mom noticed. That's the reason why I asked Mom first, because you had a totally different side. People have these perceptions of each other. So Mom notices things because she's Mom. She carried you for 9 months, so she knows exactly what's going on with you. For you, how did you feel during those long sessions where you're sitting there, then you're waiting to play, and then it gets later and later and later? How are you physically handling that? And then the next question would be mentally handling that, so that Mom feels better, and then the viewers know how it feels for a 13-year-old to carry all that. We're nosy people.
Well, usually what makes me really frustrated, like once I finish playing one game, like this is actually a good example, like Peoria, Illinois, when I played in that junior tournament. I finished playing, I was like first one up on my game, and then I won, and then I wait like 3 or 4 hours for my next game because I didn't start playing till like, the tournament didn't start till like I think 12, and I didn't start playing till like 12:30 or 1. And my next match was around like 4 or 5. So that's what gets me frustrated, is when I play my first match, wait 4 or 5 hours, and then play my second match, and I'm just all like, I'm not playing like I was my first game.
Do you feel like it's because you've been sitting so long, or you're not mentally prepared for it the next game, the next matchup?
It's when I'm sitting, like I'll shoot for like an hour and a half maybe, and then I'll sit down because my legs like start getting tired, and then my arm, like because my stick is like a pretty heavy stick, so my arms start getting heavier and like tired. So I'd sit down, and then it just take a long time till my next tournament will come up.
So I think you guys maybe what you're saying is maybe more a better timing. Maybe give you guys a time slot. Derby City Classic, if I'm pretty sure Dad probably knows about it. Derby City Classic is normally organized that way, where you get a time, so hours ahead of time where you're going to play again, so that the kids can get a rest. Maybe they need to possibly take some cues from this video so that people know, say, hey, let's give these kids a time slot so that they can go home or go back to the hotel and rest for a little while. Maybe get their mind off of it maybe some of these places have pools. Maybe they can, exercise a little bit and keep some of that tiredness off of their bodies from just sitting.
Yeah.
So, maybe we can put that into the suggestion box for the next tournament. So I appreciate that's honest. I like to hear the honesty.
Thank you.
Do you currently have a practice regime, like you before a tournament? Did you go in and, like, when I was growing up, usually it was I would go in and they would just throw the balls on the table and tell me to run them out. I hung around with a pro for several years, and his thing was a set regime. Do you have something around that you do before big tournaments like that?
Usually when I get there, like, my friends are there first, so I'll get on the table next to them, warm up, and then play a couple games with them, take a break, like maybe a 5-10 minute break, get some water, and then get back to warm up again, and then play games and then keep going on that routine until my first match is up or anything like that, something like that.
Boy, you've got this down pat. He's on it, Mom. He's going to be the next champion. How many hours do you spend a week on practice, Cooper? Do you think
before, like, I think it was like a year ago, while I was talking, when I shout out my friend Timothy Cossey, we had like a big match. Like, I think it was on the 1st of January. And we had a big match. Like, I was getting ready for that. I think it was like 4 or 5 days a week, like for like 4 or 5 hours, maybe 3, 4.
Physically and mentally conditioning yourself?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Do you do that with your other sports as well?
Football, yes. Basketball, yes. Usually not the other sports.
Which one do you like the best between the basketball and the football?
Football.
Can you tell me why?
Because, well, 2 reasons. I like the speed in the game. Like, I like how there's a lot of running, and like, you can tackle, like, you can be rough in the game. Because that's just, I like being rough, and I'm a fast kid.
You're fast. Yeah, sounds like you need to get with Joey Gray, sir. He's also a fitness trainer. Next time he's in the area, Mom, look up Joey Gray and tell him I sent Cooper to him. Joey's also, like I said, he's also a fitness trainer, and maybe he can give you some pointers on incorporating some kind of fitness regime before his actual tournaments. Maybe getting some of that extra energy out will help loosen him up and get him ready for that. I've noticed that some of my friends, like Joey, they run or they hike. I'm a hiker. I like to be out outside, and that helps me focus more when I used to play. So yeah, contact Joey. I think he'd have some great things to say. I have a couple of people that wants to say hi to you, sir. Do you know this lady? Brittany Carlson says, you are incredible, Cooper.
That's my aunt.
We have another one. Do you know this person? Michael Sutton says, keep it up, kid.
I have to see the face.
Yeah, I think I might have to see the face because I'm not usually used to it.
We appreciate you doing this, Michael. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. I have a couple more questions. So, do you feel the junior players have the support they need, or do you not? Because I get a little bit from both sides. I have a pros and a cons. I have some people are saying, yes, we are getting the exposure, we are getting the tournaments that we feel comfortable playing in, and some are saying we just don't have anywhere to play. I'm beginning to feel like
I think it's a yes or I think it's a yes or no question. I think it's in between because, like, we are getting the exposure we need. Like, right now, like, you're talking to me about, like, junior tournaments and all that, but also we don't have anywhere to play.
Right. And that's what the kids are saying.
I think it's like an in-between question.
So what we need are venues. We need more kid-friendly areas to play in, like Kenny's, where you guys are allowed to play in there and you can hold your tournaments. Whereas also one in Pelham, Alabama, where they allow kids. There's also one in Meridian, Mississippi, allows kids, and so does South Haven Rec Center. So does Tupelo. I think it depends on the state and their restrictions. You know, Alabama's very strict on not allowing children into, quote, bars. So Chips and Salsa in my area in Huntsville, Alabama, has actually designated an area outside the bar area where it's enclosed for kids. So if you're ever in the Huntsville, Alabama area, we have Space Camp here. So if you're ever in this area, Chips and Salsa would be your best bet to play in this area. We also have Miss Brittany Carlson one more time. You make our family so proud. He's a good kid, Miss Brittany. Let me tell you, fantastic young man. You guys are doing something right in this family. If you could fast forward 10 years, where do you see yourself, Cooper?
I see myself in the Moscone Cup.
You hear that, Nick DeLeon? He says he's taking your spot, sir. Well, we hope that you get there, and hopefully this helps get you there. That's what we're all about. We're all about giving back. I was fortunate to live the life that I've lived and be able to see the things that I've seen. I've never been much of a true competitor. That was never my angle. My angle was I like stories. So you're giving me another story from my book. What advice would you give the newcomers to the game of billiards if a little kid walked up to you, say in a couple of years, and said, how did you get here? What would you say?
I would tell him just, if he's a newcomer, I tell him to, first I tell him to practice as hard as you can, and I would help him with some, I'd give him some free lessons, help him out. And just tell them to stay with the game because it's a fun game.
It definitely is. Do you play chess by any chance, Cooper?
No, ma'am, I do not. That game is confusing.
Pool to me is a lot like chess. It's all about the moves. And Efren Reyes was sitting playing chess with Corey Deuel at Buffalo's down in New Orleans, and I was there. I stood there and watched for a bit, and then later on, I got the pleasure of talking to Steve Lomax. He's a cue maker, a famous cue maker. If you Google Steve Lomax, he's right up there with some fantastic cues. Anyway, he said, I noticed you were over there staring what was going on. And I was like, I was curious as to why all the Filipinos play chess. And he said, well, why don't we ask him? So basically, Efren doesn't speak a lot of English. A lot of it's broken, but he understood what I was saying. And he said it helps him stay in focus. So you might want to just check it out. It might seem confusing, but to a newcomer, so is pool. It might help. Just a suggestion.
I'll try it out.
So, if you could speak to someone with unlimited funds about the junior tournaments and what we can do as a society, what would you suggest we do for you? You know, like somebody just said, here, Cooper, I have all this money and you can do whatever tournament you would like to do. What kind of tournament would you like for you guys, your top kids? What would you like to see happen?
Well, I'd honestly split the money between me and some of the newcomers. I'd help the newcomers get some lessons in, from a whole bunch of professionals, Mark Wilson. I'll help them get some tournament experience, get them in some tournaments, all of that. And then some of the money for half the money, the other half of the money for me, I just get myself in some tournaments to where I can play with the pros and learn from them.
So this is what I'm gathering from that answer. Basically, what we need is a billiard school, several of them, kind of like Linwood, where, April Larson and Chris Reinhold went. If you know who those two players are, they both went to that school. And Mark Wilson is a fantastic teacher. So I think we need more billiard schools. That way it's kind of like football and basketball. You have all these competing schools. Why can't we do that with pool? If we can do that with pool, then you get those tournaments. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be
Sounds like it. That way we're all earning a little bit of something there. Okay. Well, that concludes my questions. So, do we have anybody else out there that would like to talk to Cooper this evening? Anyone out there? Don't be shy, people, because I know there are people watching. Well, if we can't get anybody up here, how about we check out Cooper and how he plays his game? Let's watch. That was awesome, Cooper. Thank you so much for the video.
Thank you.
Lammert, guys. Well, I'm not going to take up any more of your time, guys. We appreciate you both coming out tonight and all of your fans watching. We have a contest running right now, Cooper. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. The child with the most views will get a surprise from Miss Mary Tam. I may have mentioned that at the beginning of the podcast. I'm going to mention it again. That's pmpclothing.com. So you guys head on over to pmpclothing.com. With every t-shirt that is sold, they donate $5 to a hunger program. That's the only brand that I know of that gives back to the hunger community. We're trying to feed the hungry here, people. Is there anything else I can help you guys with this evening? I appreciate your time. I really do. I know it's a Sunday. I'm trying to squeeze everybody in, and I kind of threw this, hey, let's go live on you.
Thank you.
Do you have any sponsors currently, Cooper, that you would like to give a big shout out to?
No, ma'am, I do not.
All right, guys, he's up for grabs. He has zero sponsors. Are you hearing me? We need sponsors for this kid. He plays out of Kenny's Bar and Grill in Barnhart. Is that correct? Missouri. All right. Well, we appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to let you guys go. And you let me know if there's anything I can do for you guys. And I'm going to run your video one more time. And we'll see you next time. That I'll have that brought out to you guys as soon as possible. Thank you so much for your time, Cooper. And thank you so much, Serena, for allowing us to get to know your son.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That was Cooper Lammert, ladies and gentlemen, and he's a fantastic kid. You couldn't get them any better. Like I said, I apologize for my eye, but I'm going to run that footage one more time for you guys. And if you're looking for a safe place to take your kid and a fun place to be, that'd be Kenny's Bar and Grill out of Barnhart, Missouri, if you're in that area. That's the St. Louis, Missouri area. Also, there's a few kids out of that area, so keep a watch. The Diva's watching you guys. Let's run that footage. Okay, guys, I'm going to head out of here. So everybody have a great evening, and thank you so much for watching. Remember, support your kids. Support those junior players out there because they're the next generation of us. We need more champions out there making sure that they're getting what they need out of us as parents and players as well. So make sure you champion for the kids, not just for the champions. On behalf of Inside Pool in the Magazine, and of course, Nick DeLeon, because he's on location chasing his dreams, have a great night, everybody. Peace out.